Hey there everyone, it's Kirsten. I apologize for my little hiatus of, I don't know, I'm gonna guess like 12 days since my last video. I went on a trip last week to Salt Lake City to visit my alma mater, my place that I graduated from, the University of Utah, and I went to see some friends and such, and dance and all that. And I got sick, which is kind of why I sound maybe a little weird right now. I don't know, I can't hear myself very well, but I'm getting better, and I knew today was definitely past time to film. So I'm here in front of you with a slightly different voice, but nonetheless we're gonna get out some hopefully good content today. So I thought I would talk about just my tips for you if you are going to travel for an audition, whether that be a company audition, summer intensive audition, or this could even apply to like dance related trips that you go on for short periods of time. Maybe it's for a conference or an event or something, I don't know. Basically, if you're traveling and you have to dance where you're going to be traveling, this will help. So the first thing that I always recommend is thinking about what you're going to eat and packing some non-perishable items, or even perishable, and I'll get to that. So what I really like to make sure that I have down is what I'm gonna eat, or at least have like a general idea of where I'm going to lock down some food, because this is really important whenever you're going to audition, that you're feeling good, you are fueled properly, and especially if you have a sensitive stomach, that you are not forced to eat anything weird or unfamiliar to you before you are required to perform well. So for me, this means that I almost always pack bananas and apples. They're really easy to pack, especially with the banana saver tip. If you watched my last ballerina life hacks video, I have this fun little banana case basically that makes bananas easy to pack away without getting smushed. So I'll bring bananas, apples. I have even done this in the past where I have brought little packets of oatmeal, not like, I don't buy the pre-made quick oats with like all the sugar in it and all that. I like to make my own, so I'll bring a little baggie with some oats, maybe some cacao powder, peanut butter powder, whatever flavorings I want in there. And when I get to the hotel or whatever in the morning, what I've done before is I just add some water in whatever little bowl thing I can find, and usually there might be a hotel like microwave or something. Or what I did on this recent trip that I took, I brought my own little container that's like this big probably, and I made some overnight oats, and those aren't like super perishable. So it did have almond milk, which I know is supposed to be refrigerated, but it was fine for the couple hours that I was flying. Then when I got to my destination, I just put it in the fridge. So what that is just oats. Actually, I will make a recipe video for this soon. That's a really good idea. But yeah, you guys probably know what overnights are. Oats are, it's just oats soaked in some sort of liquid with whatever other add-ins you want to put in there to make it taste good. And that's also a great breakfast. So I'd say breakfast is the most important thing before an audition. So bring something that you would like to eat just in case there isn't a good option for you when you go to your destination. Also having things like protein bars you like, those are great. Yeah, you know what you like to eat, so just bring what appeals to you. Also, make sure to bring a reusable water bottle. Of course, if you don't want to bring one of these, like especially if you're flying, what I do, I just drain it before I go through security, fill it back up, and then I can use it the rest of my journey. But if you don't want to bring one of these, you could be wasteful and buy a plastic water bottle and just use that throughout the weekend or however long you are at your place. So yeah, just make sure that you are not caught without any water on you, because hydration is super important for muscle function, and I have been dehydrated at many an audition before and had muscle cramps and things like that. So you don't want to be caught with a reason to be dehydrated. So keep some water with you. Now this is specifically if you're going to audition somewhere. I would highly suggest that you go on your trip with your photos printed out, your resume, and the specific amount of cash or whatever, if you want to write a check, you know, the money necessary to pay your audition fee. So of course this also requires that you double, triple check online of the company or summer program website to make sure you have everything with you that they will require you to have when you check into the audition and get your number and all that. I've seen a lot of dancers get to their destination and have to hunt down a Walgreens because they didn't print out their photos, or they didn't check to see what size the company wanted, so they had the wrong size. You know, all this sort of thing, or they don't have exact change and they're going through the line of dancers like, does anyone have $10? Change for a 10, change for a 10. It's just kind of a predicament you don't want to be stuck in. So it wouldn't be the end of the world if you weren't prepared, but obviously this video is all about making sure you are the most prepared. So make sure you do that and double and triple check the requirements before you leave on your trip so you don't have any stress in that area. If you can, I would also really recommend bringing a foam roller or something. I know this is kind of a pain to put in a suitcase, but I have one that is hollow in the middle, so I will put shirts and whatever inside of it so that it doesn't really take away from the space I need to use up in my suitcase. And I really enjoy being able to roll out my muscles after I get off of a plane ride, and I just find it sets me up much better the next day for my audition. So I would encourage you to consider that. My next tip is, again, not necessary, but nice, especially if you have a longer flight to get somewhere, or you just find that you are a person who is prone to swelling kind of easily. I would recommend getting compression socks. I have some that go just about up to my knees, over my calves, and it really helps with preventing my ankles getting stiff and swollen while I just sit in one place for a few hours on the plane. It's just really nice, and it helps me to not have to recover from flying, you know, and then just go ahead and dance the next day and try and be really great. So yeah, check out compression socks if that sounds like you would benefit from it. I would also recommend for those of you who are auditioning to bring 2 pairs of tights, even though you will only need one when you get there, and bring a different option in leotard, a different leotard option. How about that? Because I find for myself, it just gives me an enormous peace of mind when I know that if I spill something on my tights or something happens, I get a hole, whatever, that I have another in my backpack. And also, sometimes I change my mind and I leave on my trip thinking I would look great in this leotard, I want to wear this one, and then the day of I'm like, no, I don't like that, and so I have another one, just so that if you are in my situation like that sometimes, you will see that it's really nice to have an option, and you just go in there looking and feeling your best because you were prepared. Another tip I have, which is really another packing tip, is to turn your backpack into your dance bag if it's not already. A lot of people I know already use a dance bag or a backpack as a dance bag, but there are also a lot of others I know that have like tote bags or something that just aren't quite as practical for air travel. So what I like to do, since I do usually carry a tote bag for my dance bag, I will just take out the basic necessities, you know, my shoes, toe pads, you know, little pouch with my stitch kit, scissors and tapes and whatever, and then just leave my dance bag behind. And I'm able to use the excess space in my backpack when I'm traveling or flying, whatever, for, you know, extra travel type things. So yeah, anyway, I'm babbling about that. I would suggest using a backpack instead of a dance bag. And as far as packing goes, even if you're not a list person, I would recommend for everyone, whether this be prior to the list making or if you're not going to make a packing list at all, visualize everything you're going to be doing over your short trip or long trip, whatever. and make sure that you have everything you need. This is really obvious, and I find I used to be tempted to just go straight in and make a list, and I would just try and like hope that everything came to mind that I needed. But when I actually visualize chronologically what I plan to be doing that weekend, I can so easily just conjure up a list of exactly everything I'll need, because I think of, oh, preparing to do something. That's a part of my visualization process. Then after you have a list, whether that be physical or a mental list, down, then you pack and then go over everything again with that visualization you did in mind, so that you make sure you have absolutely everything you'll need. I've had a lot of friends leave tights, leave shoes, you know, all sorts of nightmare kind of situations. I've witnessed them, so that will really help you guys not be in a bind. You know, things do happen and there will be ways out of it, but this will help you not be in a sticky situation. My last tip, if you are going to just do a quick trip for an audition, is just a fun one, and this will just help generally enhance your experience. I suggest trying to make it as much like a vacation as possible. A lot of times these trips are just like 24 hours, little like overnight trips, and it can feel kind of stressful, but honestly, you can make your experience so much more enjoyable if you say, okay, I'm there to audition, but I also want to make sure I get a feel for the city. Because if you think about it, you're auditioning for the company or summer program, whatever, which means you are putting yourself out there to spend an extended period of time in that city. So if you can, just try and walk around as much as possible. Pick out at least one thing you want to see in the city that is accessible in the area you're staying in, or next to the ballet studios you'll be going to. Or even my favorite thing is to use Yelp, do some research while you're on your layover, whatever, at the airport, and figure out a really good restaurant to go to after your audition and just have a really nice indulgent meal and treat yourself. It'll honestly boost your spirits and just make your experience so much more fun, and it'll really help you to feel like you did something, and say, so that you could say, yes, I've been to this city, I've seen this city. Obviously you're not going to be like an expert leading tours around the city after that 24-hour experience, but it'll just help you to have a little memento from your experience, or a memory, you know, and it'll just help you to have fun and relax. So I suggest you know, finding a great restaurant that locals love to go check out after your audition, or you know, walking around if you have extra time, seeing a site, you know, just doing something worthwhile that is not ballet related. So yeah, with that, I'm just gonna leave you with those tips, and I hope that you guys liked it and got some good info out of this. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon for my next video. Bye guys.